Welcome back to Saturday Social. We are joined by Nieve, Paul and Adam. Right, Joe, it has been an incredible start to the season for some of the strikers around the world, notably Kane, Haaland and Mbappe, who are putting up ridiculous numbers considering we're still in October, right? I mean, it's absolutely incredible, which did get us thinking, who is the best striker in the world right now?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've tasked Nieve to tell us. She's brought forward her 20 best strikers in world football. We've got 4 different tiers to go through: good, great, world-class and the best. The best can only have one name in it, at the end of this list. So let's start with, I think, Julian Alvarez is the first name you bring forward.
Yes, and to be honest with you, right now, I think he's world class. I think he's got such a variety of finishing that's right up there with the very best of strikers. His free kicks are unbelievable, and he's a very clever footballer. So, yeah, I'd like to put him in world class.
OK, yeah, second top scorer in La Liga. Only Mbappe scored more.
Pieced up Real Madrid a couple of weeks ago as well, didn't he?
Yeah, we know what he can do. He's been a quality player for a long time. Going next, you brought Ousmane Dembele, Ballon d'Or winner. So talk to me about him. Obviously been injured at the start of the season.
He's been injured, but, I mean, the year that he's had, again, I think we're dealing with the very best, so world class.
Yeah, and he's not, like, some of these players aren't necessarily traditional nines, are they? He's kind of been sculpted into a 9 by Luis Enrique that is maybe a different style to some of the other names in here, so we'll keep the flow going.
OK, so with Lewandowski, he is world class.
Right.
Currently, I think great would be the category I would go for. I don't know how you guys feel, but I know that he's had multiple injury issues at Barcelona that have maybe affected him and slowed him down a little bit.
My immediate thought, because I was looking through the list and trying to group them, was without even thinking, I just put Lewandowski alongside Kane and Mbappe and whatever, but that wasn't necessarily factoring in overall form. You know, in terms of the all-timers, again, he's absolutely in that top bracket, but if you're having to knock him down on form, it does make sense.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that as well.
I think 3 of his last 4 Barcelona goals have come from the bench as well, haven't they? So
yeah, I think his goal scoring will never change, but maybe the speed of which he can link up play with, like, Yamal and Rafinha, sometimes he could slow the game down a little bit, and you're starting to see maybe that.
OK, it's your list?
Yeah.
So 4 goals in 9 for club. He's got a couple for his country as well.
A man who's terrorised your club recently, Paul?
Terrorised. Cool.
Well,
didn't like that, did you, by the way?
Got a second. Well, scored a penalty and got injured. Cool.
Beat you.
I'd like to put him in world class. Am I going too far? What do you guys think?
I think he's had world class periods. It's just whether you think he's operating at that level now and has been while he's been at Galatasaray. Obviously, I think when he was in Naples, he was unbelievable, and he's one of those strikers that I was looking at United going for as well. When I think when we discussed it last time I was on, I was talking about how we should go get him. I think I wouldn't argue him being in world class, but he's probably a bit like Lewandowski, where maybe at the moment he's.
Can you be world class playing in Turkey?
Well, that was going to be my point. Really, is that this forever doubt that hangs over his head of, like, why aren't other football clubs making a move for him? Because I agree in terms of his goal scoring return has been outstandanding for years, but there is going to be that question mark.
I mean, you look at your midweek for Nigeria, like dragging them to the World Cup with that hat-trick effectively, so.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of different arguments
I think that's a big quality he's got, is that he did that at Napoli, does that at Galatasaray, does that for Nigeria.
Being the main
he
man,
very much drags a team through in many different ways. And also, I know you say this about Galatasaray, but, like, when he's faced up against these big teams, scoring against Liverpool, scored against Tottenham when Galatasaray played them, so it's not like this is a player that can't do it just because of where he is. If you place Julian Alvarez in Turkey, still world class. So, I don't know,
where are you putting him then?
I'm going to push for this. I'm going to go for world class.
Wow, OK.
Your list.
Big. Next up, we have got Isak. Where would you have him, Paul?
Yeah, let's go to Paul with this. Isak.
So, my immediate thought on it, I think you've got that clutch at the top we were discussing, we'll come on to, who are just enshrined as the best at the moment. Yeah. And then I think there's a tier beneath that who are the ones in waiting, who are going to take those places in years to come. Maybe not of Mbappe because of his age, but I would put Isak alongside Alvarez, Dembele and Osimhen in world class, although obviously he just hasn't been fit enough to show it so far this season.
So in terms of the Isak Ekitike, who do you think will score more goals for Liverpool this season out of the 2 of them?
Ooh, theoretically, Isak. I'll go with that. He should score more.
Nieve, where you put him?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
So does that mean next up you got Ekitike? Are you going to put him straight in there alongside him? If we're saying...
Is Isak not potentially world-class, though? I mean, he has been incredible for Newcastle, and obviously we're waiting to see what he can do at Liverpool, but I feel like we're just giving the world-class tags to anybody these days. Obviously, won the League Cup with Newcastle, but does he not have to elevate to that next level? Like, we're talking about Alvarez doing it for City and Atletico Madrid, Dembele winning a Champions League, and Osimhen doing it. Isak's nowhere near them yet for what
You don't think Isak's near Osimhen?
No, ability, I think he could be right up there, by the way, and I think eventually he'll probably be world-class.
Yeah.
You think this year ahead is him making
just
that
a bit
journey
too
up?
early, yeah.
So you know what? I think I agree with that.
Because
we don't want to.
Wow.
We don't
Neve's been
want
influenced by Adam there and moved.
So what does that mean for Ekitike?
Hasn't needed a win.
Paul is not
Good argument.
So how
That's a
does
really
that
good
affect
argument.
where you put Ekitike then?
So I think I would also want to put him in great in the sense that he's making that upwards trajectory. He's so entertaining, so exciting, loads of talent, and that's a great position to be in, right?
Yeah.
After that, you've got Marcus Thuram.
Yeah.
5 goals, 2 assists.
I feel like
7
flies
club
under the
appearances.
radar
Yeah.
at Inter a little bit with his quality.
Yeah, do you know, he's one of those where, as a footballer, like his intelligence, his work rate, I think he's just amazing. And maybe as a striker, he's not the most consistently reliable to score goals, and that's why there's why he's that level below. But he is really good. This is difficult. I'm sort of pondering great, good. What do you guys think?
I've not got a strong enough opinion on him to push for anything other than good, because, I mean, again, just looking at the names that you've got in great already, does that naturally push him down a touch?
Maybe,
Yeah, make the call, Nieve. It's your list.
Okay, good. We'll go with good.
OK. Next up, Jean-Phillipe Mateta, international debut as a sub in their win for Azerbaijan. Of course, scored his first goal as well, didn't he, against Iceland? I feel like as well, he's until recently a bit of a striker that's gone a bit under the radar. Now everyone is talking about Mateta, who's brilliant season last season, carried that on this season. I'm intrigued to know where you put him.
Yeah, I mean, he's leading the way of... I mean, in the year 2025, Crystal Palace are one of the best teams in the country, and he's leading the way of that team. So he is right up there, is why he's in my 20. I do think good's the place
I think
for
that's
him.
fair for him.
Yeah.
Second most shots on target in the Premier League this season, but only Haaland with more. So
The job Glasner has done with Mateta is amazing.
Yeah.
Rasmus Hojlund, who is actually on really good form for
Yeah.
club and country at the moment. I think he's got 6 in his last 4 games.
I think we should bring Adam in on
Manchester
this.
United
No, it's
player
nice to see.
improving after leaving the football club.
I never
That is unheard of.
really had an issue with Hojlund. Look, I don't think he was good enough for Manchester United, and I think it was difficult for him being such a young number 9 at a massive club with all those pressures, and he didn't really... if he had a Cavani or a Zlatan around him, I think it would have helped him out massively, but it's nice to see him doing well.
He handled himself
genuinely
at Man United.
He didn't throw his toys out the pram.
A lot of vitriol around him, wasn't there? He wasn't scoring goals, and over the summer, I think he handled himself.
I've got to say, as I remember interviewing him, I was so impressed for such a young player, like the personality that he had and how he was off the pitch and how intelligent he was actually as well.
Great to see him Friday.
4 goals, 1 assist in 4 appearances for Denmark, 4 goals in 6 appearances for club as well.
I think that attitude you talk about is reflected on the pitch, in that he is still always running, he's relentless, he's making that movement, and he's playing in a very direct vertical team now at Napoli where Kevin De Bruyne is setting him up. So it's no wonder his numbers are going
Where are we
up.
putting him, though?
Okay.
I think good.
Okay, yeah.
Next up, Big Ben. Where would you have him?
It's too early to call him great. He's obviously not going to be world class at this point in time. I think he's one of those strikers, like many of them, where they have huge potential and maybe one day they could be world class or great, but he's not there just yet.
Okay, let's put him in good for now then, which takes us on to Viktor Gyokeres.
Yes. Yeah, I personally, I think it's quite difficult, really, because there's strikers that are coming into the Premier League and we're seeing lots of these qualities they've got that aren't actually scoring goals, so it's quite hard to measure who do we prefer, that sort of thing. I think what I have liked about him is he's used his strength to pin back centre-backs in every game, and Eze's benefited from that, Declan Rice benefited from that. But then there's also been games where I've thought, could you be a bit sharper and find the space yourself to score a little bit? So there's been good, there's been not as good.
I think he's a flat-track bully, and I think he will score goals, but it's whether he will do that in the biggest moments in the biggest games.
Okay. Yeah. I think the next name is a good time to bring up the next name, Nick Woltemade, because there was a lot made of new strikers coming to the Prem, particularly the Viktor Gyokeres Sesko comparison. And it feels like, particularly with this one, because Newcastle were linked with so many players prior to him, it went a little bit under the radar. But the impression that he's made early on, I think we've got to talk about Woltemade and how impressive he's been for Newcastle and for country as well.
Yeah, he's got such a presence on the pitch when he plays, especially because he does like to drop deep a little bit and help out and link up play. And I think he's been absolutely brilliant. The only thing I think from him as well, and it'll come in time, is if he gets himself back into the box and keeps shooting, like his numbers will hopefully go up and up and up. But yeah, he's looked as good as any of the strikers, if not maybe one of the most promising. Some of the strikers that have moved to the Premier League.
It just looks like it's been effortless, really, how he's fit in. You know, sometimes you can wait a while for that goal, and he's come in, got up and running. And obviously, having it watching Liverpool a little bit of times, feeling it a bit disjointed and how they build up, and just Newcastle, like they've gone, look, striker, cool, we know how to play to this. It's great.
Yeah, he's like perfect for Newcastle. Like he's already a cult hero, and it's his size, but the way he works with his feet, he's like a cult hero there. So let's stick him up.
Next up,
Joao Pedro.
Yeah, I find it quite difficult because I think when Liam Delap comes back, it'd be interesting to see if he can get a world where both of those play. It's because Joao Pedro's, he's not a typical striker, and the areas of the pitch that you want him you probably want somebody else.
I'm a big fan of his though. I think he's a really, really good talent. And when Chelsea were interested, I was like, we're going to have a little dabble, have a little sniff at that, because I think he's a fantastic player, was incredible for Brighton, obviously, but has he done enough to maybe be up there with the Lewandowskis and Isaks of this world? I'm not too sure.
Okay, let's put him up then. If there's an agreement on good, and we'll move on to the next name, which is Sehou Guirassy, top scorer, joint top scorer in the Champions League last season. His record in the Bundesliga is ridiculous. So where are you putting him?
No, it is. And, you know, to the point where I'm sort of, if there was a category here, he'd be right in it. I think he's absolutely brilliant. The speed in which he does things is exceptional. Like when he gets the ball, flicks it on straight away. He's got so much talent. His finishing is ruthless. He is a relentless footballer. He would elevate many teams in the world.
I'm putting him in.
It's your list.
Great or world class, you know. He's like... What do you guys think?
I wouldn't have expected world class, to be honest.
Is he better than Isak?
Great. I suppose that's a good way to put it.
I think there's things he does that's better. There's things that Isak that does that's better. I think maybe I'll play it safe and put him in great.
Okay.
Okay, we've got, next up, Lautaro
Martinez.
Good boy.
Where would you have him at?
I think he's world class, you know. I generally do. I think he was great for Inter Milan. Well, he is great for Inter Milan. I really like him. Surprised some of the Premier League clubs haven't had a sniff around him. Fantastic player.
You know how you can have your opinion formed on one performance of a footballer, and I watched him run away from Virgil van Dijk in a football match, and I've never rated him since. So, I mean, not to say he's not good, but I've never
seen it. Van Dijk running away, to be fair.
I think where I sort of back him up for world class is going beyond that match. Is I'd say we're dealing with someone who has been the captain and driven a team to 2 Champions League finals. We're talking like 2 Copa Americas, in which he was in the team of the tournament for one of them as well. 2 titles in Italy too. And I think as well, his goal scoring's great. He's always going to be there. He elevates the players next to him. I think Marcus Thuram is as good as he is because he's next to him. Same with Lukaku, same with Dzeko. Yeah, I think he is next level.
Your list, where do you want to put him?
I'm going to go for world class.
Okay.
So many different kind of goals as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a couple more before we get on to the big 3.
Do these 2 quick then. Retegui has now moved, of course, out of Italy.
Yeah, so he finished the season with 36 goals and assists in 46 games across the Champions League and Serie A of Atalanta. He's obviously moved to Saudi Arabia, but he's taken that form with him. He's taken the form into the Italy national team. I think some of his finishing is really, really nice, and he is a total talent. I'd probably go with good, but I think he's on his way to being one of the real good
And then finally, before we get onto your final 3, I think we know who the final 3 will be. You've got Vlahovic, so just where would you put him on this list so far?
Yeah, he's definitely not. I think I'd probably put him at the lower end. I don't mind Vlahovic, but yeah.
Okay, he goes in good. So that does leave, I think we can all agree here, the best 3 strikers in the world currently. The numbers from these 3 are absolutely insane. Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane, Erling Haaland. You can only put one in the best because we want to crown who is the best striker right now. Now, I don't think there's any wrong answer to this. You could put any of these 3 in the best for me.
Is there one you think is third, though?
Third?
Clearly.
I would say not clearly, but I would probably go with third place on current form, Haaland.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Second place, Kane. First place, Mbappe.
I think that's
I was
really
torn
intriguing.
between Haaland and Kane for the best. I think Mbappe's phenomenal, but I just think we kind of take for granted how many goals Erling Haaland scores, and that's the job of a striker. And I think he's just absolutely ridiculous with the numbers he puts up. And Harry Kane is just... he does everything.
Yeah.
He does absolutely everything. And I think he's probably the striker that Haaland and Mbappe should be looking up to and be like, I want to have that longevity. I want to keep going and improve my game like that.
Let's give you the numbers, actually.
Phenomenal.
But what I will say, I've got some numbers of my own because fascinated me because there was a moment this year around April, May where I felt like Mbappe had settled in and we were starting to see terrifying Mbappe again. And I looked at the last 25 matches across all competitions and there's only 3 matches in that he hasn't scored or assisted at least once. And these guys are just as prolific, but there's been 7 matches in those 25s where Kane hasn't, and with Haaland it's 5. So my point with that is that inevitability of scoring, being involved in goals, he's got it as much as, if not more than these guys. So, and he's also playing an interesting role in which you see him on the left, you see him have to move over to the right as well to try and find a little bit of joy. He's also, I think, got...
Does that not come into your mind when you decide who the best striker is, like out and out number 9, if you know, Mbappe can shift to the left? Like Kane and Haaland are just pure strikers.
And Kane also, I mean, it's one of his assets is that he drops deep a lot of the time and people run beyond him because they've got a lot of fast players at Bayern. I think with Mbappe, what it is for me is that there is a scariness about him that it's just like next level. Like when he gets the ball, you can see such fear
That
in the
electricity of
defenders.
dribbling.
There's just something about him that really is like the best, where it's like, oh goodness me, how are we going to deal with Mbappe? And he's a total shot machine. And like again, we talk about how he drifts and plays in all these different positions. His volume of shooting is outrageous. He's actually had 39 shots this season, which is crazy when you consider, again, these are strikers who are always shooting and they're in the... Well, Haaland's actually had... It's in his early 20s, the amount of shots he's had. So it's nearly double that Mbappe has had. So I think that Mbappe is just getting scarier and scarier game by game basis.
Let's give you the underlying numbers as well, because I say they've all been incredible. 21 goals and assists for club and country this season for Mbappe, 24 goals and assists for club and country this season for Haaland, 24, same number, goals and assists for club and country this season for Kane. And Harry Kane became the fastest player to 100 goals for a club playing in Europe's top 5 leagues ever. So, I mean, all of them, Paul, have got incredible numbers. Who would you have put?
I would... maybe simplify it a touch and say Haaland just because he's doing it in the Premier League. And I know Kane's done it in the Premier League as well, you know, and there is that. But it's whether, if you're talking about complete forwards, then it would be between Kane and Mbappe because you're getting more football from them than Haaland. But if you just want a blunt instrument that's going to score you loads of goals in the Premier League...
do you think this is the best Haaland we've seen so far? I think when I'm watching Haaland now, his all-round game feels like he's gone to another level.
Yeah.
Like he's just
more all-rounded. I know what you mean.
Athleticism is just outrageous.
But he seems to be actually flourishing in many ways, you know, like in terms of like how he talks about it. You know, he always came across as a bit surly and not wanting to do the media stuff, whereas you saw him against Brentford and he had the battle with Van der Beek and he's like, that's a proper goal, that. You know, and he's like, he's laughing about being in a battle and winning physical battles as well as scoring the goals. So he looks, prime.
OK, do you want to stick them up in, do the reveal then? So you're going Haaland 3, Kane 2 and Kylian Mbappe, Nieve, you said was your best striker in the world right now.
Just tighten it. I mean, it's so...
Who is everyone's best?
I would probably go highest ceiling, Kylian Mbappe. I think Haaland's probably the most clinical in the box and most all-round player.
I love how you've gone round the houses to say Kane.
I'm biased with Kane because I do think he's been probably the most underappreciated striker for many years, but I can totally understand the logic for it.
I think I would have gone Mbappe. I think
the logic with
the
that.
scariest. I
think I would have settled on Kane, you know.
You would have gone Kane?
The more I think about it, I think Harry Kane, man.
Yeah.
It's just...
Well, there we go. You've gone Haaland, you've gone Mbappe, and you've gone Kane, which shows it's a good debate, Joe, doesn't it?
Very good debate, yeah. Let us know what you would have done at home, because I think it is a debate that's been raging on social media for quite some time and doesn't look like it's going to stop any time soon.